In the heart of a quaint and tranquil village, surrounded by a lush, whispering forest, lived a young and curious gardener named Emily. Her days were spent tending to vibrant blooms and verdant plants, her fingers gently coaxing life from the soil, nurturing each stem and leaf with a tender touch. Emily's garden was her haven, a place where she could immerse herself in the fragrant embrace of nature. The villagers often marveled at the beauty of her garden, a vivid tapestry of colors and scents, a testament to her skill and dedication. But Emily's passion for nature extended beyond the boundaries of her cultivated paradise. She was enchanted by the mysteries that lay in the wilds of the forest that cradled her village. Her nights were devoted to exploring these mysteries, to understanding the secrets whispered by the wind through the trees and the stories told by the stars. One evening, under a sky embroidered with twinkling stars, Emily felt a particularly strong pull towards the unknown. The village was quiet, with only the soft glow of lanterns flickering in the distance. She decided to take a stroll along the village's edge, where the manicured gardens gave way to the untamed beauty of the forest. The air was crisp, carrying the fresh scent of pine and earth. The moon, a silvery orb hanging low in the sky, cast a gentle glow over the landscape. Its light transformed the ordinary into something magical, casting long, dancing shadows and turning the dewdrops on leaves into sparkling jewels. As Emily wandered, her keen eyes, so accustomed to spotting the subtle nuances of plant life, caught sight of a narrow, hidden path. It was veiled by a cascade of ivy and wildflowers, their petals glistening in the moonlight like tiny, beckoning lights. Intrigued, she felt a surge of excitement. This path, so cleverly concealed, promised the thrill of a new discovery. With a heart beating with anticipation, Emily stepped onto the path. It was barely wide enough for her to walk through without brushing the overhanging foliage. The path twisted and turned, beckoning her deeper into the heart of the forest. The familiar sounds of the village faded away, replaced by the soft symphony of the nocturnal wilderness. The rustling of leaves under her feet, the gentle caress of the breeze on her face, and the distant, haunting call of a night owl created a melody that spoke to her soul. As she ventured further, the canopy above grew denser, the moonlight filtering through in ethereal beams, guiding her way. Emily felt as if she were stepping into another world, a realm where the worries of the day-to-day faded into insignificance, overshadowed by the profound beauty and mystery of the natural world. Finally, the meandering path gave way to a breathtaking sight. Emily stepped into a clearing that was a vision of otherworldly beauty, a garden that seemed to have sprung from the pages of a fairy tale. The moon, celestial guardian overlooking this hidden realm, bathed everything in its soft silver light. The garden was alive with colors so vivid and luminous that they looked like they had been painted by the very hand of the moon. Flowers of every conceivable color and size bloomed with unrestrained splendor under the starlit sky. Their petals, each a delicate work of art, glistened with droplets of dew that sparkled like tiny diamonds. The foliage around her swayed gently, as if in a graceful dance with the cool night breeze. The air itself was thick with a sweet, intoxicating fragrance, a blend of jasmine, lavender, and an array of scents unknown to Emily, each scent weaving its own enchanting tale. In the midst of this mesmerizing tapestry of colors and scents stood a flower so unique and radiant that it seemed to exist in its own dimension. It was a breathtaking bloom, the likes of which Emily had never seen in her years of gardening. The flower's petals were a cascade of shimmering colors, changing hues as the moonlight danced upon them, from deep blues to radiant purples, and then to a warm golden amber. The flower appeared as a living prism, capturing the essence of the night sky itself. This extraordinary flower radiated a soft, pulsating glow, as if it were breathing in the moonlight and exhaling a luminescent life force. It seemed to hum with a gentle energy, a melody that resonated with the rhythm of the garden, beckoning Emily closer with an almost magnetic allure. Transfixed by its beauty, Emily found herself drawn to the flower. With each step, she felt a growing sense of wonder and an inexplicable connection to this magical bloom. She reached out tentatively, her fingers hovering just inches from the petals, afraid to disturb its perfection. As her fingers brushed against the petals, a wave of warmth and energy flowed through her. It was as if the flower was sharing its life force with her, a silent communication between human and nature. Emily felt a deep sense of peace and belonging, as though she had stumbled upon a long-lost piece of her soul. The garden around her seemed to respond to her presence. The flowers swayed more fervently. The scents grew more intoxicating, and the very air seemed to shimmer with a newfound vitality. Emily realized that she had not just discovered a hidden garden. She had discovered a living, breathing entity, a garden that was as much alive as she was. In this moment of awe and profound connection, Emily heard a faint, melodic voice, a voice that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the garden. Turning towards the sound, she saw a sight that would forever change her understanding of the world. A tiny, radiant being, glowing with the light of the moon, floating gracefully towards her. As Emily stood amidst the enchantment of the moonlit garden, her eyes widened in amazement at the sight before her. floating gently towards her was a tiny being, aglow with an ethereal light that seemed to be woven from the very essence of the moonbeams. This delicate creature, no larger than Emily's thumb, had translucent wings that fluttered like those of a dragonfly, casting tiny sprinkles of luminescent dust into the air. The sprite, noticing Emily's awestruck gaze, hovered in the air before her with a graceful poise. Her features were fine and elfin, with eyes that sparkled like sapphires and hair that flowed like golden silk. She wore a dress crafted from petals and leaves, which shimmered with every movement, blending seamlessly with the surrounding flora. "Welcome, Emily, to our moonlit haven," the sprite spoke, in a voice that was like a melody, soft yet clear. "I am Lily, the guardian of this garden. It's rare for a human to walk among these blooms." Emily, still in disbelief at this magical encounter, managed to find her voice. "This garden is incredible, and you're like a being from a dream. How is this possible?" Lily smiled, a warm, inviting smile that seemed to illuminate the space around her. "This garden is hidden from the eyes of those who do not seek it. It only reveals itself to those who truly appreciate the beauty and magic of nature." As they conversed, Lily explained that the garden was not just a place of beauty, but also a sanctuary for the magic of the natural world. The flowers and plants here were not ordinary. They held the essence of the forest's spirit, nurtured by the magic that flowed through the land. Lily then shared her concern about a recent disturbance in the balance of the garden. A mysterious force was causing disharmony, and some of the magical plants were beginning to wilt. She had been searching for a way to restore the equilibrium, but her efforts alone were not enough. Emily felt a surge of determination. "Let me help you," she offered. "I may not know much about magic, but I know about caring for plants. Maybe together we can find a solution." Delighted by Emily's willingness to help, Lily agreed, and together they set out to explore the garden. As they moved through the vibrant flora, Lily introduced Emily to the wonders of the garden. She showed her the singing blossoms, which hummed harmonious melodies, and the dancing ferns, which swayed in an unseen breeze. Each plant and flower had its own unique magic, contributing to the symphony of the garden. But as they ventured deeper, the signs of the disturbance became more apparent. Some flowers had lost their glow, their petals drooping and colors fading. The air in these areas felt heavier, and the usual harmony of the garden was replaced by a sense of unease. Lily pointed to a particularly withered plant. "This is where it started," she explained. "We need to find the source of this decay and stop it before it spreads further." Emily knelt beside the plant, her gardener's instincts taking over. She examined the soil, the roots, and the leaves, searching for clues. There's no sign of pests or disease, she mused. It's as if the plant is losing its will to live. As they pondered the mystery, a faint rustling sound caught their attention. In the shadows of the garden, something moved, a hint of a presence that was out of place in this magical haven. With a shared glance of determination, Emily and Lily moved towards the source of the sound, ready to confront whatever was disturbing the harmony of the moonlit garden. The rustling sound led Emily and Lily deeper into the garden, towards a section Emily had not yet explored. As they moved cautiously, the air grew denser. The sweet fragrance of the garden now mixed with a hint of something unfamiliar and unsettling. They arrived at a part of the garden that was starkly different from the rest. Here, the flowers and plants seemed to be in a state of melancholy, their colors dimmed and vitality fading. The ground was covered in a fine grayish moss that seemed to absorb the life around it. "This moss," Lily whispered, her voice tinged with worry. "It's not a part of the garden. It's feeding off the magic here, draining the plants of their life force." Emily knelt down, examining the moss. It felt cold and lifeless, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy of the rest of the garden. "We need to find the source of this and remove it," she said resolutely. Lily nodded, and with a wave of her tiny hand, a soft light emanated from her, illuminating a trail through the moss. "This light will lead us to the heart of the problem. We must be cautious, Emily. We don't know what we might find." As they followed the trail, Emily noticed that the plants nearby seemed to lean towards Lily's light, as if craving its energy. It was clear that Lily's magic was a source of nourishment and hope for the garden. Eventually, they reached a clearing where the moss was thickest. In the center stood an ancient tree, its bark twisted and gnarled, its branches bare. The tree radiated a faint, eerie glow, and the moss seemed to originate from its roots. Lily gasped. "The heartwood tree! It's the oldest tree in the garden, a source of ancient magic. But something has corrupted it." Emily approached the tree, feeling a chill in the air. The tree's energy felt wrong, a stark contrast to the warm, welcoming aura of the rest of the garden. She placed her hand on the bark, feeling a faint pulse of the corrupting force. "We need to cleanse this tree," Emily said, looking to Lily for guidance. Lily flew up to one of the lower branches, her light intensifying. "I can sense the good magic still within the tree. We need to awaken it." "Emily, do you have anything from your world that might help?" Emily thought for a moment, then reached into her pocket, pulling out a small vial of water from her garden's fountain, always kept for emergencies. "Water from my garden. It's full of life and growth." "Perfect," Lily said, her eyes brightening. Let's combine our strengths. Together, they worked to revive the heartwood tree. Lily's light enveloped the tree, while Emily carefully poured the water along its roots. Slowly, the corrupting moss began to wither and fade, and the tree's bark started to regain its color. As the tree healed, a wave of energy pulsed through the garden. The withered plants began to rejuvenate, their colors returning, their petals unfurling once more. The garden was coming back to life, the harmony being restored. Emily and Lily stepped back, watching as the heartwood tree bloomed with new leaves, its branches now glowing with a healthy light. The garden was alive once more, its magic flowing freely. "We did it," Emily breathed out, a smile spreading across her face. Lily beamed, her light now a soft, contented glow. "We did, thanks to you, Emily. You've helped save the garden." As they stood in the clearing, the garden thriving around them, Emily realized that this was just the beginning of her journey. She had discovered a world she never knew existed, made a new friend, and helped restore balance to this magical place. After their successful endeavor to restore balance to the heartwood tree and rejuvenate the garden, Emily and Lily took some time to admire the revived beauty around them. The once drooping flowers now stood tall and vibrant, their colors vivid and full of life. The air was fragrant with a sweet sense of blooming flora, creating an atmosphere of enchantment and serenity. The magic of the garden, now flowing unhindered, wrapped around them like a warm, comforting embrace. As they meandered through the lush pathways, lined with an array of enchanting flowers and mystical plants, Emily's attention was irresistibly drawn to a peculiar flower. This bloom, nestled amongst the vibrant greenery, radiated an energy that was both compelling and mysterious. It pulsated with an inner light, its colors changing and shimmering under the moon's caress, captivating Emily's gaze. Lily, noticing Emily's deep fascination, fluttered closer on delicate wings that glowed like tiny lanterns. "This flower," she explained with a voice as soft as the breeze, "is the heart of our garden. It is a beacon of our strength and a reservoir of our magic. However, it requires special care and certain rare elements to fully bloom." Intrigued and eager to continue playing her part in this magical world, Emily offered her assistance. Lily, with a twinkle in her eye, shared that they needed to collect rare ingredients from various corners of the garden to facilitate the flower's blooming process. Their first task was to gather pollen from the nocturnal roses, a rare species that bloomed only under the tender glow of the moon. The roses, with their deep crimson petals, exuded a faint, otherworldly light. As Emily carefully collected the pollen, she felt a deeper connection with the mystical garden. Each rose seemed to whisper ancient secrets, their voices like soft melodies in her ears, intertwining her fate further with the enchanted realm. Next on their quest was the pollen from the towering moonlight lilies. These resided at the garden's highest peak, a place where the moonlight seemed to touch the earth. Climbing the gentle hill, Emily's heart raced with excitement. The beauty of the moonlight lilies, glowing softly in the night, was breathtaking. They stood tall and proud, their petals shimmering in the moonlight, welcoming Emily and Lily with a gentle swaying dance. The final ingredient required was the mystical dew of the stars, a rare liquid that manifested only during the full moon. This magical dew was said to be the tears of the moon, filled with its pure light and energy. It gathered in a secluded pond, nestled deep within the garden's heart. Under the watchful eye of the full moon, Emily and Lily carefully collected the glowing dew, its luminescence reflecting in Emily's wide, awestruck eyes, infusing her with a sense of wonder. With all the ingredients gathered, they returned to the enigmatic flower. Lily, with a voice resonating with ancient wisdom, recited a chant that seemed as old as time itself. She guided Emily in mixing the pollen with the starry dew. With a gentle hand, Emily sprinkled the enchanted mixture over the flower. At that moment, a miraculous transformation began. The flower, responding to the magic-infused concoction, slowly started to bloom. It emitted a dazzling light, enveloping the entire garden in a warm, radiant glow. The petals unfurled gracefully, revealing a mesmerizing pattern that sparkled like a constellation of stars. It was as if a piece of the night sky had descended into the garden, blessing the flower with the universe's boundless beauty. The blooming of this flower was not just a spectacle of natural wonder. It symbolized the deepening bond between Emily and the magical world she had become a part of. As the garden basked in the glow of the blooming flower, a new chapter in Emily's journey was unfolding. One filled with mysteries and adventures yet to be discovered under the moonlit sky. As the moon sailed high in the velvety night sky, casting its gentle light over the enchanted garden, Emily stood beside Lily and Orion, feeling a profound connection to the magical realm she had become a part of. The journey thus far had been filled with wonder, challenges, and newfound friendships. The garden, with its vibrant flora and mystical aura, had become a part of her, and she a part of it. The blooming of the garden's heart had marked a significant moment in Emily's life. It was not just the awakening of a rare flower, but the beginning of her deeper role as a guardian of this magical world. She had helped restore balance and had been introduced to the complexities and responsibilities that came with it. As the night whispered its secrets, Emily made a promise to herself and to the garden. She would be its protector, its friend, and its voice. With Lily's guidance and Orion's wisdom, she would learn the ancient magics and the hidden mysteries of the natural world. The garden, in turn, promised to be her teacher, her sanctuary, and her source of inspiration. It would continue to reveal its secrets, share its magic, and in times of need, provide refuge. The bond they shared was more than just a caretaker and her garden. It was a deep, symbiotic connection, rooted in respect, love, and mutual protection. As the first light of dawn began to touch the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Emily felt a sense of peace and purpose. The challenges ahead were unknown, but she was ready to face them with courage and determination. The garden hummed with life, its magic pulsing in harmony with the rhythm of the world. Birds began to sing their morning songs, and the flowers turned their faces to the rising sun. Emily took one last look at the garden, now glowing softly in the morning light, and smiled. With a heart full of hope and a spirit ignited with adventure, Emily stepped forward into the new day, ready to embrace her role as the guardian of the moonlit garden. The garden's magic, now intertwined with her own, whispered a promise of endless possibilities, of mysteries to be unraveled, and of many more moonlit nights filled with enchantment. And so, under the watchful eyes of Lily and Orion, Emily began the next chapter of her life, where every leaf and petal held a story, and every whispering wind brought tales of magic and wonder. The garden was not just a place of beauty. It was a world of magic, a realm of wonder, a legacy of nature's enchantment. And now, it was her home,